De volta à faculdade, na Management TV.
I was just wondering, what would you consider to be the worst investment you've ever made?
The worst investment I ever made? How long do you have?
I received an email a couple weeks back from you, and it said that if I forwarded it to 20 people, I'd get $10,000. I still haven't seen the money yet.
My favorite was they offered to cover my legal costs for just $1 a month.
What do you think are some of the most important or most challenging societal issues that we face?
I think the issues of equity.
We got lucky tickets in life. We got a ticket that said American. We got a ticket that said intelligent.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
What did I tell you that impressed you the most?
The world's richest billionaires, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, give students advice on how to get a job, how to find success, and how to help change the world. Coming next on Buffett and Gates Go Back to School. The two richest men in the world are dramatically different. Warren Buffett earned his $41 billion the old-fashioned way, by investing in solid old-line companies that sell basic products: insurance, soft drinks, home improvement, and shoes. Bill Gates is the modern genius who earned his $50 billion by creating the world's largest software company, Microsoft. His innovative products include Windows, Office, and Xbox 360. In spite of their differences, the two men are close friends, and they share a common passion: interacting with America's brightest students. Today, Buffett has invited Gates to join him in a dialogue with students from the University of Nebraska School of Business Administration. Buffett earned his bachelor's degree here in 1950.
There was a girl I had a big crush on, and she was paying no attention to me. She was going with some guy to play the ukulele, and I thought it must be because of the ukulele, so I got a ukulele, learned to play it, and she still ignored me.
Both men relish the opportunity to engage in spirited discussion with members of the next generation of business leaders. The one condition they placed on this event is that no faculty, staff, parents, or reporters will be allowed to talk. Only students will ask the questions.
We're all pretty excited just to have the opportunity to meet with the two richest people in the world.
There's a lot of questions.
I've been waiting for this like all week.
I'm feeling pumped. I'm excited to see these people.
Got it? Terrific. Well, this will be great.
Please give a warm University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Business Administration welcome to Warren Buffett and Bill Gates.
As the men take their seats, students selected by the faculty of the business college are ready with questions that have not been shared with either Buffett or Gates. The students begin with one of the most difficult questions facing business today.
Hello.
Hi.
My name's Kim Martin. I'm a senior finance major here at the university. My question is, how do you instill ethical leadership throughout your organization? And to begin with, how do you know that the management one level below you is making decisions that would parallel your own?
We have all the money we need. You know, we'd like to have more, but we can afford to lose money. But we can't afford to lose reputation, not a shred of reputation. And therefore, I ask the managers, I ask them to judge every action they take, not just by legal standards, although obviously that's the first test, but also by the test, what I call the newspaper test. How would they feel about any given action if they knew it was to be written up the next day in their local paper, to be read by their family, by their friends, by their neighbors, written by a smart but kind of unfriendly reporter. And if it passes that test, it's okay. And I tell them if anything is close to the lines, it's out. And they can always call me if they wanted to check something. But if they call me, there's something wrong with it probably anyway. So, and that's about it.
In Microsoft's case, our top management team, the majority of them joined us as right after whatever degree they got, if any. Now, our business in many ways is kind of simple. It's about writing great software. We sit down every year to go through the various things that people have to be careful about. We have products that have high market share. We do business all over the world. So there's some particular dictates, how you work with suppliers, gifts they might come forward with. But it's mainly the seeing these people in action that make us confident about their behavior.
I should mention that I am the only college grad up here. I mean,
yeah, I'll be taking my Harvard shirt off pretty soon because I didn't complete the whole course, so I didn't think I should leave it on the whole time.
Well, they don't allow you to wear it more than half the day, as I understand it, actually.
Hi, I'm Tara Steinbach. I'm also a senior finance major at the university. And this is for Mr. Gates. Since you joined the board at Berkshire Hathaway, have you considered possibly taking over for Mr. Buffett when he retires?
I'm going to take notes on this one, if you don't mind.
Yeah, this being on the Berkshire board is a real honor for me. And I just joined the board last December. I have to say it's not very remunerative. I couldn't even make the flight out here on my Berkshire director's fee.
I didn't hear that part.
But Berkshire's been organized in a very unique way, and of course very different from my business experience, which is all really related to software and what goes on there. So I'm looking forward to being a good advisor, making sure that Berkshire is grooming people for whatever succession eventually has to take place. But it won't be me. Berkshire's got a lot of great people, and they understand the unique system there, and will step up to it.
We pay our board, our directors, $900 a year, and I really would like to pay them more, but Bill's so far ahead of me on that Forbes list already. I don't want to give him any ammunition. And seriously, we're very, very lucky. I mean, there are people that would pay anything to have Bill on their board, and it's a real act of friendship that he has come on the Berkshire board. It takes a lot of time. If the rewards are there, they're only psychic, but to have him there, you know, with the small difference in our ages, makes me feel very good. I'm the older, actually. I just explained it. It makes me feel very good to know that I've got people of both of the quality and the experience and everything else to make that decision when I'm not there the next morning. So I'm very grateful.
Okay, thank you.
Here it comes. Yeah. He's got it. Bring out his high school.
I'm Brian Poppy. I'm a junior actuarial science major. My question for you is, how did you two meet the first time? Is there like some sort of billionaires conference that I don't know about? Or?
Yeah, we have these things. We don't talk about them. No, I met Bill on July 5th, 1991. And I was out in Washington as a guest of a friend of mine who was an editorial page editor of the Washington Post, and she knew Bill's parents and said, we're going down to this place on the Hood Canal to meet the senior Gateses, and Bill may show up, and I'll let Bill take it from there.
Well, it was a funny event because my mom was very sociable and always, getting people together. And I, at this time, didn't believe in vacations. I was totally focused on my job. And so when she said to me, "You've got to come out and meet," it was Warren and Catherine Graham and a couple other people. I said, "Mom, I'm busy." And she said, "No, this will be great." And I thought, well, I'm not sure. I'm into this software thing, and I don't know much about investing, and I hadn't thought about it much. But I went out, and so Warren and I met, and I'd actually come out in a helicopter. I was planning to go back a few hours later, but then by the end of the day, I was there, just talking with Warren, and so it began really unbelievable friendship for me. And, I could tell that even though we came from different...
I find that, I just think it's almost un-American.
My name is Matthew Bodie. I'm a senior from Elgin, Nebraska. Several Eastern European countries have successfully enacted a flat income tax, and now there is growing pressure in Western Europe to do the same. Would you support the United States adopting a flat income tax, and why or why not?
Well, I wouldn't support it. You'd be amazed how flat it is already. If you look at both the payroll tax, which is over 12% now, and that applies on the first $80,000 or $90,000 of income. So Bill and I pay practically none of that in relation to our income. The people that work for us, it's a big, big tax. So if you take the tax that my assistant or anybody in our office pays, they've got 12% on that first $80,000 or $90,000, and then they have the income tax. And their tax rate, literally, in many cases, is not, well, it's the same and maybe even higher than my own tax rate, since they cut the rate on capital gains to 15% and dividends to 15%. So what has gone on in this country in the last, well, in very recent years, is a huge benefit to the very rich, and not that much relief to people down below. And people, when you read about tax rates, they usually leave out the payroll tax, and they don't refer to this 12 and a fraction percent. So we have come, in my view, to a taxation system that's much too flat in this country, and frankly, I think that Bill and I should have a higher tax rate on the income we get. We pay a lot of taxes, but it's really at a very low rate, and it's a rate that's less than half the tax rate that I was paying 25 years ago when I was making a lot less money. They have really taken care of the rich.
Yeah, I go along with that wholeheartedly. I think we probably need a more progressive system as we look to balance the budget, that at some point I think people recognize that needs to be done. Probably one of the ways that will be done is that the rich should bear a somewhat higher proportion of the burden than they do today. Very large fortunes never go through an income tax. Maybe it's a little ironic, but both Warren and I would say things in several aspects of the tax system should be more progressive.
I could spend the rest of my life, and I could have done this 20 years ago, and actually pay no federal income tax, because I could have taken my Berkshire Hathaway stock, borrowed some money against it every year to live on, and when I died, then the estate would pay off the debt on it. But I could have gone through my life, a good bit of my life, without paying any income tax whatsoever. And I frankly think it's very unfair.
Hi, my name is Dan Senft. I'm a senior finance major. My question is, the Forbes 400 puts your collective net worth at $91 billion. By comparison, that figure exceeds the combined gross domestic product of the bottom 70 nations in the world. How do you feel that your immense wealth contributes to the balance of global prosperity?
Yeah, well, the wealth, in effect, is a bunch of, the prosperity comes about through the products that Microsoft turns out. They're changing the lives of millions and millions of people. In the process, you get these eventual claim checks on society's output. These little pieces of paper that I've got in a vault called stock certificates, can be turned in at some point to get goods and services of one sort or another. Basically, the money is going to go in a way that we think will have the most impact, beneficial impact on society, viewed on a global basis, not just on a national or regional basis. It will go, we hope, as intelligently as we can make it go, to change the lives of people all over the world. Now, there's two factors that enter into it. That's the amount you leave or put into charity, and then how efficiently you do it. Bill and Melinda, in my view, they run the largest one, but I would say they also, certainly among all the big ones or anybody that I know about, they run the most efficient one. They have literally said to themselves, how do we use this money to change in a major way for the better the lives of the most people in the world? What could be more rational? So they've combined what I would call head and heart with huge sums of money And no one's gotten a result, in my view, like they have.
Yeah, I think the key point here is that owning, Warren owns a big piece of Berkshire. I own still a measurable piece of Microsoft. That's not consumption. What the limited resources of society you hit those limits as you consume. And so somebody who makes, say, $50 million and chooses to, just build mansions and have things happen for them, they are diverting resources in their direction instead of those resources being used, say, to help out people who are less successful. And so, in fact, if you can accumulate some of society's wealth through luck and skill and then make sure it's used on behalf, that the consumption overwhelmingly goes to the less fortunate, it's a little bit like Robin Hood. You're recycling wealth from that top part back, and it's incumbent on the people, the higher up that list you are, the more, in a sense, there's a responsibility to put not only the wealth but your brain power into those activities.
I am Allison Mack, a senior marketing major. As college students, we're constantly thinking and planning towards the future. Where do you personally envision yourself to be in 10 years?
I'm glad you didn't ask my doctor. I'll be, if I'm in decent health, I'll be doing exactly what I'm doing now, because I'm doing what I love now. I mean, if I could do almost anything that doesn't require any athletic or mental ability. What do I choose to do? I choose to jump out of bed every morning and run down and work at Berkshire Hathaway, and I don't see anything that changes that. I'm doing what I love, and health will determine how long I can keep doing it. But I've told my children that when I start going gaga and spend my time spinning yo-yos and things like that, that they're to come to me and tell me that it's time to step down. But I've told them they better all come as a group, because if just one comes, I'm going to take them out of the will.
Yeah, well, 10 years from now, I'll be turning 60. I have to say, every time the age 10 years older than me always seems like that's when I'll be old. When I was 40, I thought 50 would be that mark. Now that I'm very close to that, I think, no, that's not being old. My life's work in terms of creating a company is certainly around Microsoft. Over the next 10 years, my balance between the time I spend on philanthropic things versus my full-time job will switch somewhat in the favor of doing philanthropy, spending more time on that. It does mean I need to get one of the great young people at Microsoft to sort of get on the hot seat of setting the product strategy, which is a great part of my job. I love my job. It's an amazing job. And I'll always be able to have some mix of Microsoft and then a bit more philanthropy.
Hello, my name is Paul Turnus. I'm a senior business administration and music major from North Dakota originally. I was wondering, what is your definition of success, and what has been your largest non-business success in life?
Well, we played ping pong against a 9-year-old girl in San Francisco. 2 weeks ago, her name's Ariel.
Yeah, how many points did you get?
She got up. Bill got more points off her than I did. I thought I was pretty good, too. And this little 9-year-old, she's disgusting. She should have been in bed. She totally cleaned us. No, that was a little humiliating.
I'd say in my case, my goal for success outside of work is definitely raising a family. Just getting started with that. And I think there's some unique challenges of when a parent is very visible and has money and things like that. It's not easy in any case to raise kids the right way. But I'd say I hope to be successful at that. So far I haven't caused them any damage. They seem to be doing okay.
We get a lot of people that want us to adopt them. I mean, he's working on his children, I'm working on my great-grandchildren, but otherwise we got the same approach. I would say this in terms of success. This will surprise you. But I would say I've never known anybody that got to my age or close to my age that had lots of people that loved them that felt anything other than a success. I mean, you have lived a successful life. if, as you get older, the people that you hope love you do. And that includes your family, your business associates, all kinds of people. And the converse of that is that I know people enormously wealthy, you know, they get schools named after them, and they get dinners in their honor, all that sort of thing. And the truth is that nobody thinks a thing of them. And I have to believe they know that, and that everything gets quite hollow in their life at that point. And they've got all these markers, and there's people on the Forbes 400, you know, that are in that category. And I won't name names. But it's, I can't think of anyone I've known, and I've known some, you know, a lot of people by this point in my life. I've seen them in very ordinary jobs, all kinds of situations. If the people around them love them, they feel very successful.
Thank both of you so much. We appreciate you coming.
With the final question of the evening answered, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates prepare to leave the stage, but not before shaking hands with all of the students who took part in the event.
Thank you for the Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, you're terrifically good. You're all okay, thanks for coming. The bridge is a great game. I advise all of you to take it up. There's no game like it. If you go on the internet, however, my name on there is T-Bone. And Bill's name is Challenger, but he spells it C-H-A-L-N-E-N-G-R.
A seguir, World Business, na Management TV.